I looked online for the cheapest possible FTA satellite receiver. And this is what I found. The Koqit K1. It was $38 Canadian. This is kind of an overview or review of this receiver. It's not a how-to video. If you're interested in learning about how to program this receiver by entering your own satellites and transponders into it, I made a separate video about that, and I will put a link for that in the description. Okay, here it is. It's got the manual. It's got a Wi-Fi antenna if you want to connect it to your internet, remote, HDMI cord, RCA cables, and the unit itself has a USB on the front. The power cord is integrated. It has a HDMI out, a USB on the back, and it also has RCA jacks if you want to connect it by composite video. And here it is connected at the TV. It connects like most other receivers. Power cord, HDMI, coax. Pretty straightforward. And getting right into the installation menu here, you can see that a lot of these satellites here, you can't get in North America. These are far west satellites and even east satellites, and we can't get these in North America. Maybe a few of the western satellites, but you're going to have to learn how to program your own satellites and transponders into this receiver. Otherwise, you won't be able to pick any TV up in North America. And like I said, I have a video showing you how to do that. So I already have programmed a couple of satellites in. This is 87 West, and I'm not going to go through the channels, but it picked up all the channels that I would expect it to. No major surprises. The tuner sensitivity seems to be fine. Probably not as good as, say, the Amico Mini, but for $38, what do you expect? And I have programmed C-band satellites into this receiver. I'm not going to show those channels right now, but it's worked fine. I haven't had any issues. The receiver seems to accept all of the LNB types that people would normally install on their dishes. This receiver worked fine with the Shaw dish that I've shown you before, which has a dual LNB with a built-in 22K switch. I had no problems scanning in channels with this receiver using that dish. My final thoughts on this receiver are that for $38, it's worth the price tag. Setup was easy. The one trade-off would be that you have to learn how to install the North American satellites and transponders in order to receive TV here in North America. But that in itself is not that difficult. If you're willing to learn, then this receiver is probably for you. If you're interested in learning how to enter satellites and transponders into this receiver, I made a separate video specifically for that. And if you're not interested in learning how to program this receiver, then get this, the Amico Mini HD265. This receiver is very nice to use. It's got a very sensitive tuner, and all the satellites are preloaded, so you don't have to worry about installing satellite frequencies and transponders. It's pretty much ready to use out of the box. And if you're not interested in learning about all those little fiddly details, then I would go with the Amico. If you're willing to learn about how to enter satellites and transponders, you can save yourself some money and go with the cheap K1 box. But it doesn't have the same sensitivity as this. Bottom line, it's $38. I've wasted more than that on bad pizza.